Carey Rolofson. For years we just talked on the phone. Now it's good. You know, the last year been fun to get to know you a little better, and the KCWA. Originally talked to you about the Kansas City Stampede.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit. Give me the background on the Stampede.
Well, Stampede, this is our 13th year coming up. We've during the past 12 years, we've had a higher and higher caliber of wrestlers coming to Kansas City to compete in the Stampede, and we've been in 3 different venues. Now we're going to excited about this year and the future, going to Hy-Vee Arena and working on a partnership with Grow Wrestling and growing the tournament and growing the event in Kansas City. The other thing we're talking about, and we're working on getting the girls event sanctioned, the girls high school event sanctioned, and so we're looking to bring the girls in this year to have just make the event more and more exciting. We're excited about the venue, we're excited about the possibilities, and we're just for the future for growing wrestling in Kansas City. It's going to be a great partnership with Grow Wrestling.
Yeah, I love it. KCWA and staying on the cutting edge with Missouri adding women's wrestling, and bam, right on top, Stampede is working to figure out how to add that to the tournament.
Well, that's the future of our sport. The future of our sport is everybody being in, girls and the boys, and an Olympic event for both. And it's a natural, and it's time, and we're looking forward to it, and we're excited to have that piece in our tournament. So the whole thing's exciting. I mean, we've had multiple NCAA champions at all levels wrestled in this tournament, multiple All-Americans, world team members, world medalists.
You tell me one year, like all the Oklahoma state champs were in it.
All the Oklahoma team state champions were in it, as were the Missouri Class 2, 3, and 4 state champions the same year. But we have as many as 14 different team state champions going into the tournament, then coming out of it even more. So a lot of state champions teams are made and built at the Stampede. Valley Forge, Virginia, won their first state championship, beating Great Bridge after coming to the Stampede for 2 years. Manhattan, Kansas, won their first team state title after coming to the tournament. The coach called me back afterwards and said that was what pushed us over, coming down there and hitting that hard competition for 2 days. Really made us much better, much faster, much quicker, and I was just excited about the intensity our kids brought out of the tournament and rode it all the way to the state championship.
Nice. Running a tournament's not easy, especially one with the magnitude of Stampede. What's it take an organization to pull off something successful like that? And I know that there's been hiccups along the way, that you guys got to overcome. And just tell me about what does it take to run a successful event?
Well, it's volunteer. It's been all volunteers. We've had all volunteers for all 13 years of the tournament, and the volunteers are people who are committed to wrestling. Tom Talby's the tournament director. Tom's been the director since we began. He had 2 sons that wrestled in Missouri and wrestled in the state medalist. He had and then Krista Singh, who has a couple of sons that have several state championships with them. Jonna Kleinsmith, her son Tony wrestled at Excelsior, and just down like. Robert Hedgecourt still on the committee. The Barmans out of Platte City. Their sons wrestled in state championship teams for Platte County. It's just a great team of committed parents and committed wrestling people that have done this year after year. They don't. They're all volunteers. They do it all on their own. And as of now, everyone on the committee, save one, the Robert Hedgecourt, everyone except him, their kids have all graduated. And gone. My son graduated in 2002.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
It's been a while. It takes the commitment of those dedicated volunteers.
Let me ask you this then. So, what is it about wrestling that keeps you going even when your direct connection to it, like you said, is no longer here? And he wrestled in college afterwards, right?
I wrestled. I grew up wrestling in Iowa. I went from high school. I went to college for 1 semester and wrestled, and then went in the Marine Corps. And found out when I got in the Marine Corps, and spent 7 years in the Marine Corps, that was such a natural fit. Warriors. Wrestling builds warriors. Wrestling builds people and character and discipline that you just can't get anywhere else. You're on the mat, 1-on-1, and your character comes out. And win, lose, or draw. You know, no matter how many times you win, somebody out there is going to get you somewhere. Unless you're Cale Sanderson, of course. But somebody's going to get you. I mean, and so how do you respond to that loss? How you respond to that loss builds the character and builds the internal character and the internal fiber that creates your a lifetime compass of commitment and dedication to things. It's wrestling. Wrestling does it. You're out there on the mat. You're out there on the mat in front of mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, girlfriend, boyfriend, brothers, sisters, and they're watching you one-on-one with some guy who's not in this for recreation. They're in this to beat you. And how do you respond when they do beat you? How do you respond? That's character. That's guts. That's the part about wrestling that's so important. It's so important for the youth that in this sport, and there's so much character built. And it's when you go into life hiring people. I've hired people for many years in my adult life, and if they're a wrestler, it's already, I know what to count on. I know you know what commitment is. I know you know what it takes to commit yourself to being someplace, a weight, a competition, and things like that. So that's the character it builds. Is why is the draw, and love seeing kids build that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, look forward to meeting the rest of KCWA. Thank you for putting your energy into wrestling. You got anything else to share right now, Carey?
Thank you, Joe. We're so looking forward to it. Like I say, I've been talking to you on the phone for 7, 8, 9 years, and I actually saw you wrestle in high school when you were at Blue Springs.
Right,
so I actually saw you at the state tournament. So I've known you longer than you know me. So.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Carey.